I promise you, this isn't clickbait. Really has been nearly 7 months of constant failures. So if you see my other video about the Majorca cycling disaster, then yeah, you can probably hear it in my voice. Spoiler alert, I may not be 100%. And so I wanted to cover something a little bit more interesting, a little bit close to heart. And I feel like this is going to be the new thing we're going to see talked a lot more about in sport. It's around mindset and cycling psychology and things like that, because it has literally been about 7 months of failures for me. You might wonder why and what it is. And oh man, this is strapping, because this is going to be interesting. And I hope out of this you might find something really useful. And if there is, please let me know, because I've been through the absolute trenches now and I'm adding another month of failures into this. So where to begin? I've been training really hard. I've been working with coaches now for nearly 2 years, and I have been trying to increase my FTP. And I know some people say don't focus on a number, don't focus on a metric. It's been really frustrating for me, because that's how you base your training. Am I progressing? Am I going backwards? And the last sort of 3 months, maybe 4, things started to get a little bit too easy now. But the problem I've been having is I haven't been able to successfully complete an FTP test for nearly 7 months. Now, if you're looking for some excuses to tell your coach why you can't do it or why something went wrong, take note, because I'm about to be giving you all the excuses now. We've had, from the top of my head, we've had a chain snap during an FTP test. I actually use that as a positive. I said if I'm that strong but I'm breaking chains, that clearly there's been some sort of increase in it. We'll do a manual increase. We've had a lot of issues with muscles. So I've definitely found out, and I think Jesse Coyle talks about this as well, that with too much rest, you can almost get too relaxed, if that's such a thing. So we decided, hey, we'll try a complete off week, like no training at all, just take a week off, and we'll see if that helps your legs feel fresh. It did not help. They felt like lead, and I had to bail on that test. Then we've had muscle tightness in different areas. We've had poor bike fits that caused literally just muscles to seize up in the legs completely. We've had poor nutrition. We've had, I don't think we've had illness yet, and I think that's the new one we're just experiencing now as to why we can't do it. And I've realized recently also as well, it's been sort of psychology as well, that it's almost like a fear or an anxiety when doing it. So I get sort of uncomfortable being out of breath. Now I'm so used to doing zone 2 training, I'm like a big diesel engine. But if you said to me, do you want to go and do a 20-minute effort or a 300-kilometer ride? You already know I'm doing that 300-kilometer ride. I would rather do that than sort of be out of breath for 20 minutes. And that's what a penny dropped recently while I've been here. So on the first day out of my trip, we planned to do an outdoor FTP test. I've never done one of these before. And a lot of people have been asking me this trip, say, in the UK, you must be used to the climbs. I said, no, they're usually about a mile long, which is very steep. Whereas over here, you've got some really beautiful, long, epic, and scenic climbs. And so what I did is I scoped out one, and it was Col de Femenia. And I found if I went up it, sort of full gas, it took me roughly, and I think I had to check some on Strava, it was about 23 minutes to go up it. Now, admittedly, what I call the excuse maker started kicking off. I got into it about 10 minutes in, getting out of breath, started noticing the excuse maker coming out in full swing. Oh, you should stop now. Just tell your coach you had a mechanical. You can stop over here. Just say you're sick. All these excuses started coming out. I'm like, whoa, hold on here. You're going to be on my side. And something that Jonas Vingegaard has been doing, and take note, this is what I'm saying, this could become a new thing. Watch this space, is mindset. And it's called one-way self-talk. So instead of asking your body, hey, how are my legs feeling? Which is what I used to do. How are my legs feeling? Oh, they're feeling good. Because when they stop feeling good, then the excuse maker starts coming in. I'm using that. It's like your brain just starts finding reasons to want to stop. You tell your brain, you tell your mind, whatever you want to call it, it's one way. You're not asking it, you're telling. So it's like, your legs are feeling good. Even with this illness or whatever you want to call it, I'm telling it, I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good. You might say I'm gaslighting myself, but I really do feel like that's helping. Instead of asking, well, how am I feeling in the morning? You're feeling good. Got a bit of a sore throat, but apart from that, you're feeling good. And so I was trying that on this FTP test effort up Col de Femenia, and it seemed to work quite well. It seemed to last for about 10 minutes and it just fell apart. I just didn't I noticed the big penny drop was like, hey, I don't like being out of breath. I was like, wow, okay, we've just uncovered something massive on this trip. Yeah, we just noticed something massive, that I didn't like being out of breath. And that was starting to create this sort of panic response. And I was chatting with my brother after dinner, and he's a beast. He'll sit at like some crazy heart rate during FTP tests, and he'll just smash it up climbs. And I'm always envious of him, like, wow, that's really impressive. You're really comfortable doing this. Whereas for me, I sort of fall apart. As soon as I'm outside of zone 2, I don't like it. Now you might wonder, what about workouts? That's fine. I'm going to do a 20-minute threshold effort. I'll do it indoors. I'll smash it out. But something about FTP tests and going full gas and that higher heart rate seems to scare me for some reason. So I've even started putting a sticker over my heart rate on Zwift. It's really annoying. If anyone from Zwift is listening to this, it would be really good if you could make it an option just to hide your heart rate during workouts. I'd love that. That's my feature request, please. But if you're not doing that, and you're not weird like me, then I kind of realized I have to do a bit of exposure therapy. I had to push myself to get comfortable. I hate using this line, but make yourself comfortable being uncomfortable. And I found some really good hacks. So I'm sure all the big influencers, when they watch this, will start coming out and tell everyone, hey, I've just found this out. These are my new hacks to improve your cycling. So you heard it here first. And it's a really simple hack. How I did this is I had to kind of tell and teach my body what to do in these sort of panic response moments. I had to kind of teach it, it's okay to feel like this. And it's actually a really simple hack. That's the smile. Literally smile. It tricks your brain, you suddenly feel good, and use that one-way self-talking. So I just told myself, light work, too easy, you know, and I was literally doing that off these climbs. So first thing, straight out of the bat, it's like a 3.5K climb. Cool, light work. We're gonna do it, we're gonna smash it. And I could notice the excuse maker getting ready to start, oh, you could just ease off a bit. Just there's a bit of traffic, but it was no test. This is just me pushing it. And I just kept smiling. Nah, light work, too easy. Just kept repeating these lines over and over again. And I'm looking at power going, wow, hold on here. I'm holding more power than I did during the FTP test, the attempt I did the day before. So I thought, hey, is there a thing that maybe actually having, again, like Jesse Coyle mentioned, he found if he was really fresh, it was about day 3 or 4 of a race, he suddenly got really strong. And I thought, hold on here, I've now got a bit of fatigue in the legs. Well, call it fatigue. I'm now pushing even more power. And so then I got to the next climb. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna do this, light work. Let's do it. And I just found myself going up there. And then there was a final bit, and I'm really annoyed. I can't seem to find this. I honestly thought it was a 15-minute, it said it was a 15-minute climb. I felt like I just pushed and pushed and pushed. But I didn't get a power increase apparently, and it wasn't even a PB for 15 minutes. But I'm a little bit annoyed about that because it felt like I was honestly holding about 400 watts for about 15 minutes. Apparently not, but it felt that way. But it was really good, and having other people where you'd kind of overtake them and you'd hear the distinctive sound of DI2 and the gears changing to try and catch up, and it was like, no, long gone. And part of it, I always feel like I'm flexing when I talk about this, but I feel like this has been a really interesting learning journey for me, and something I wanted to share, is I feel like I got too comfortable being comfortable in zone 2, and I kind of fell into this trap. I love the long endurance efforts. I loved not feeling out of breath. Even going up climbs, I would just do it zone 2 for my outdoor endurance ride. So training was like, yep, it's structured, I know it's gonna end. And so this is the first time I've ever just sort of gone off reservation, as it were. In fact, the coaches even told me, so look, I want you to go out on this trip. Coach Dean, massive shout out to him, said, this is what the training's been for. Just go full gas, unleash. And again, I feel like I'm flexing saying this, but if you could swap bodies for a bit, I feel like if someone had mine for a cycling holiday, they would just redline it. And power to them, because for me, it just felt really stupid. It was kind of one of those moments I went, what the hell am I doing? What am I even training for? Like, I don't really race. I love endurance effort. So getting a really high FTP just means my zone 2 goes up. I can push harder and faster for longer. And what I noticed is I'm sitting at about 320 watt FTP at about 68 kilos. So the watts per kilo there are really good. I said, well, that's fantastic, but how bloody stupid if you can't go up a climb and you're too scared to sort of push into a sort of threshold or zone 5 effort. Like if it's a 5-minute climb, you're telling me you're gonna do that zone 2. Yeah, I'll do that zone 2. It might take me 20 minutes, but zone 2, I have endurance. And then realizing, well, hey, hold on here. 5 minutes, we can hold sort of 5 watts per kilo up there, fly up it. And then by doing this, it's now really helped kind of instill this mindset. Now I know when I feel like I want to quit, I smile on that bike, just keep telling myself, light work, too easy. These are just things I came up with. You can make up your own. You might have some sort of phrase, some sort of word, just something short. I know some people want to have these like huge, long, I am powerful and I believe I can do it. You're not going to remember that. You're in zone 5, it's like zone 6. Yeah, it's not going to work. So short and easy, quick. Use mine. Just say, you got to do something hard, light work, too easy, say less. You'll find one that works really well for you. So that's my big thing, push with that. Now, it might just mean you go out on your next endurance ride. If you're in a similar boat like me and don't like this, just push, just go up it. And as soon as you start noticing that panic, smile, just smile. Literally, you might look a bit crazy on there, but once you start realizing you can unleash and unlock this power, fantastic. You might wonder, how do I get an FTP test to confirm this? Well, yeah, interesting question. I did have some successful ones, but they were months ago, and I've just been sort of stagnating. And I know when you reach this sort of power level, it's a bit weird. Your body starts doing some weird stuff. So even a small increment is like a massive win. So even going up by 5 watts is huge. But I've been really struggling to try and get the power up. And I know there's been an increase, which is why I'm even more frustrated to be out here now, not feeling 100%, because I know the excuse maker is going to try and use that to derail me. But yeah, it's been constant failures. Hoping we get a win, a big win. So you can imagine why I've come out to Majorca, spent all this time training, and we thought, hey, we'll do an outdoor climb for an FTP test. I've now smashed through the mental barrier somehow, and I'm feeling like crap. So yeah, that didn't quite go to plan, but we're hoping tomorrow we'll be in a good place. So stay tuned, we're going to see what happens. And if you're interested in anything about training, please let me know in the comments. I've got tons of advice. Learn from my lessons. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there. I hope your FTP tests go a lot better than mine. And if you want any advice, let me know. And also, happy cycling.